You're listening to the RMTV podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the RMTV podcast. The Intern, your return, mate. How you going?
Yeah, all right.
That's the way. Look, how'd you feel yesterday? The mighty Tigers. They finally broke their losing drought and beat us Chookies. It was a tough pill to swallow, but I think it was a lesson learnt.
Yeah, it was a bit upsetting, but I reckon it was the loss we needed.
But yeah, mate, let's dive straight into it. Round 25 to kick things off. Penrith back to their winning ways. 22 over Melbourne 14. A wet one at Melbourne, and I think Toy he got a hat trick and he cemented himself 100 plus tries now. And then he's also, but previous to that win, he announced he's off to PNG.
Yeah, I reckon they saved Panthers with a hat trick in that first half because Storm were, to be honest, they were winning that game. They were all over them, and then just saved them, to be honest.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure I tipped Penrith, but Melbourne are in the fight. They got nothing to play for now. You know, it's a bit different for Bellamy. You know, he's only been out of finals contention once, and that was the 2010 with the salary cap dramas. Yeah. But I think, look, they're just throwing the pill around, and they're up against Broncos this week, so I think it'll be a high scoring affair. And then Broncos, 34 over Canberra 30. Look, I wasn't expecting this one. I thought Broncos would have checked out for the year, but they got to win in the nation's capital.
Yeah, I thought a lot of Broncos fans are happy because Dragons, they lost, but they spoiled the party for Papali's last game at home. But, yeah, they turned up, full back replacement and everything, but I was shocked at the score.
Yeah, it was a close one, but, yeah, I think Big Papa. I think he's a very likeable guy, you know. He's a gentle giant, and, last home game for him at GIO. But, yeah, even I think the Broncos boys at full-time got around him, you know, all the Queenslanders and stuff. But, Bronx, look, you know, Reynolds was announced today. He announced on Triple M. He's retiring, so he's done.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, well, there you go. So it's news to you, mate.
Yeah.
But, Adam Reynolds on a comp at Souths, Brizzy, he's done. 2 more games to go, but I think he's not 100% fit. Do you think Mad should have just gave him like 10 minutes just to get on the field, have a run around for his final game?
Maybe, but if he got injured, it might have been a bit worse to end your season off. Yeah,
but no, credit to him. Look, you know, he's a lot of rivalries against Roosters in the past. I think I remember 2012 when Reynolds, it was that year when the Chooks won. Minicello did match-winning try, and then Reynolds did it in the same year.
I've seen clips of that. I wish I would have saw it live, but that's the game where there's just yelling out Minicello.
Yeah, that was the one. Yeah. And I think one of the biggest moments for him in the Broncos gear was last year against Penrith when he kicked that goal from the sideline.
Oh, yeah. And
every Broncos fan was just praying to God he would get it. And he got it. He looked pretty cool, calm and collective. Shout out to Reynolds and maybe the Bronx, you know. They might get back-to-back wins.
Yeah.
And then Newcastle, 24. The Finns, 34. Parramatta, 16. The Finns are up. I think Parra checked out for the year and, they're a scary prospect, the Dolphins.
Yeah, their attack, it's scary for the Roosters. Jermaine Asako, Herbie Farnworth. I'm scared as a Roosters fan. Next week's going to be a test for us.
This weekend I think, it's a scary one. I think the Finns, once Katoa's on their backline, they've got one of the best backlines in the comp, I reckon.
Yeah, their defence just needs to tighten up.
And that is true, considering they leaked a couple of tries against Parra, but I think as well, like Cobbo, he's been a standout Selwyn this year. He's been pretty lethal. And then Old Boys Day down at Newcastle, 24, losing to Manly 44. Tommy Torovic made his return. Do you think Tommy's the key to unlocking Fosball, mate?
Yeah, I reckon Manly, they definitely showed up. Might be a bit too late, but I reckon Fosball's back, but too late.
You reckon it's back?
It's back, but too late. finals just slipping away, and they have to have Rabbitohs or Cowboys lose both their games by good margins. So I don't think they're making the finals.
I think it all comes down to mathematics for Manly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they got the Saints this week, so you think they win at home at Brookie, but no, look, credit to them. I was shocked. I think a lot of people tipped Nui, Old Boys Day up there. But yeah, I think they were just blown off the park. Probably the loss they needed, maybe. Bit of a reality check.
Yeah.
All right, and then after the Manly win, the Wars 45 over South's 26. What did you take from this one, mate? A bit of a late comeback from South Sydney. It just wasn't enough.
Yeah.
That mana.
Souths, they just show so unpredictable. Like that first half, they looked long gone, and then Manly, then they just came back the second half. Just this random spark came through, and they looked real good. There was like a try difference, and I thought Waz were gonna get the loss, and then scored a good 12 points in that last 10 minutes.
Could have been just a little bit of spiritual talk from Wayne Bennett at halftime, but yeah, I think even the Waz, Dallin Wateni Zalesniak, he went off in the game as well. He did score a good try, but yeah, look, the Waz lose another one, but doesn't seem to worry them. It's as they say over across the ditches, do the mahi, get the treats, and they don't really care, man. If they lose players, they're sitting at first place, and credit to them. It'll be interesting to see if they can continue their wins, or if Nui can spruik an upset.
Do you know how long he's out for?
I think something to do with his shoulder. Could be a couple of weeks. So I think they might try and look to get him roaring for the finals.
Yeah.
And then Saints, they went down to the Doggies, 44-14. This one was at Allianz. What'd you take out of this one, dude?
Yeah, I reckon Dogs.
They're looking pretty good.
Yeah, they showed up, and Dragons, they just look crumbled. And yeah, their defense horrible. But yeah, Bulldogs definitely turned up for finals.
Yeah, well, that's if they make it. I think they got a better chance than Manly.
Yeah. I think
they're still 2 points behind.
Isn't their points differential a bit better?
Yeah, it's closer, but they've been struck down this week. I think 10 players did a COVID test. They're probably going to play.
Yeah.
They should be all right. But I think a few players were ill prior to the Saints game. They're versing Penrith.
Penrith. Oh, that's going to be a challenge.
Yeah, so can they get up against them? Who knows? But no, look, dude, they're looking all right. They, obviously some players out of position, but still, I don't think it bothers them.
Yeah.
Crichton's looking pretty good. Galvin, he seems like he's gained a lot of confidence at the back end of this year. So yeah, we'll see if there's any parties
Saints
in Belmore.
just looked rattled that game, and I thought they might have had a good lead coming from like wins, and it looked like a comeback story. Not to get the win spoon, but now it's definite.
Yeah, I think it's cemented, eh?
Yeah.
But it was an interesting one, them playing at Allianz.
Yeah, I didn't know they were going to until I saw it on the day.
I think maybe, like Saints and Dogs, it's a big rivalry. They go way back. So, and I think they got a decent crowd there as well. And then Titans. This one, I was sniffing an upset. 22, they lost to the Sharkies 30. But they were up at half time.
Yeah.
The Titans, as much as they lose a lot of the time, I think I do enjoy the way they attack. You got Brimson, you got Campbell, right? You got Kinney, and they're a light. I feel like they in terms of their backs, they're very light. But then you got the punch with Tino, Fasul Malawi. I've probably fucked that up, but yeah. Look, dude, I don't know. Just another Titans loss. Sharkies probably lucky to win, but did you see that try from the Sharks?
No, I didn't.
It was no, not Mulatalo. His name's missed me. Yeah, Katoa. It was Katoa. One of the Titans players, he went to tackle him, literally dived over him, put the ball down. It could have been Katoa, but I'm sure someone will check that.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I don't know about the Sharkies.
I reckon Sharks, they're not looking at that top tier teams for the premiership this year, I reckon. Like, they're there, but they need to just up their game. Because that first half, Titans look so dominant, and Keanu Kinney really just stirs that attack.
I think I heard Cooper Cronk say on Fox that it'd be better for Cronulla to finish 5th or 6th and to finish in the top 4.
Yeah,
Which is an interesting thing to say, but maybe Cronulla have to be that team to roll on with a few wins, because if they go in a top 4 match, they lose, it might spruik their confidence.
I mean, if they get a win against like a 8th place team, let's say if Manly or Bulldogs snuck in there, it might strike their confidence if they got a win there and head to finals too.
Yeah, and the last one of the game of the round, Rooster 24, Tiger 25. And it is funny, all week you hear, from fans from both sides, there's going to be 100 points put on the Tigers. And when you're hearing all this before the game's even played, I thought it would be a bit of a close contest. I think a bit of complacency. What'd you take from it, mate?
All week, I reckon, I had a feeling it wouldn't be a blowout like the other week against Cowboys. But, yeah, I reckon it was going to be a close game, 1-12, both teams. But Tigers, they showed up, definitely, and rattled us Chookies.
Yeah, dude, I was shocked. 12 went off. Alex 12 went off in the first, I think it was like 10 or 15. And, but dude, yeah, they're paying $9-10 just for the win.
Yeah.
It was, look, dude, at the end of the day, credit to them. They showed up, as you just said, but yeah, I think, look, Jock Madden sliced it, got the 1-pointer at the end. I don't think there were many Tigers fans there, but it was a good turnout, over 25K for the emergency services round. And then, our boy Geordie, that's 2 years in a row now that the Chooks have lost on his birthday. So it's, I don't know how he fixes that. Does he have to talk to the club, to say, look, hey, this is my birthday. Let's try and get a win. But I remember last year when lost to Parramatta at Combank.
Yeah.
But, I think, Roosters scored first. So Billy Smith scored the first one.
Red hot. Like when Billy Smith scored that try, I was riding my bike. I was on the train coming home, and I saw Billy score that. And yeah, we looked on fire, and then just all led up to half time, 12-12.
A lot of errors.
Yeah.
I think a lot of errors killed us. Even if it was 12 at half time, Tigers still had 3 tries. I think the thing is, right, the one thing I want to point out is, all right, we lost to the Tigers. We won 8 in a row.
Yeah.
Okay. The Tigers, that was their first win in over 2 months. Something was bound to happen, right? Like 2 teams.
There's no way they weren't going to win like a game rest of the season.
Yeah, exactly. But I think as well, a lot of Roosters fans, September Roosters fans, they come out now, they get their Roosters scarf. It's like, is it the Roosters, is it Swans one, is the Wallabies one, chuck the Roosters one on. And, it's been great. 8 wins in a row, beat Penrith the week before. You have the highest of the highs, now the lowest of the lows, right? I think people need to just relax a little bit. People forget we actually lost to the Roosters. What am I saying? Lost to the Tigers in 2018.
And then we won the comp.
Yeah, exactly right. Penrith lost to the Tigers. Using Tigers as a scapegoat here, but lost to them, and when they went on to win the premiership.
Have you seen like similar stats? Like 2018, we were this year, 2026, we're losing first couple games, Warriors, Titans, and then they went on the same path. Went on a good winning streak twice in Origin.
I think it's probably the win they should have had. Right, locked up that top 2 spot. Now they're probably thinking, well, if Penrith win all their games and the Warriors, we're looking at a repeat at Combank. Penrith Roosters week 1. A home final would have been nice, but look, I just think locking in that top 4 is probably the goal now. But still 2 tough games to go, mate. Up against the biggest rivalry and then the Dolphins as well.
Yeah, I reckon Dolphins this week, that'll be a good matchup.
But yeah, as I alluded to, it's a Roosters reality check. People just relax. 2 rounds to go. The finals are coming. Teddy should return.
Hopefully.
Straighten up that attack a little bit, and it should be all good. But if it isn't, who knows? It could be the Wars. But
these past 2 weeks, wasn't he named and then pulled off?
Yeah, he's been named, and then last minute, 24 hours prior to the kickoff, he's been put out of the squad. But Yeah, well, and also credit to the NRLW Roosters girls.
Oh, yeah.
They won 66-8 against the Warriors prior to the men's match, and biggest score in NRLW history.
Yeah. Now Roosters held both in both competitions.
Yeah, it's unreal. The girls are flying. I think they win the comp.
Yeah.
I don't see them. They just look so dominant. Their pack, dude. They're outright first. I checked earlier. They're like $1.60 to win the comp.
That's massive.
The second best team, or the second best favourites to win is Broncos, and they're about $5, and they're sitting at 5th in the minute. So I just think it's theirs for the taking, really.
The RMTV podcast is brought to you by FDS Eyewear. FDS Eyewear is your one-stop shop for quality, affordable eyewear. With the latest lens technology and weekly eye testing services, FDS Eyewear provides competitive rates over the larger optical retailers. Visit their store at Wentworthville Plaza, just a short drive from Parramatta.
Dribble of the week. So there's been a bit of talk this week. Code Sports reported that a 20th NRL team will be announced before Christmas. Peter V'landys has spruiked it. A bit of talk. There's been a lot of talk about New Zealand, right? Wanting the bid, especially in Christchurch, the South Island. It's coming in 2029. And it's pretty, I think it's pretty crazy. Like, you got the Bears, the PNG, and then New Zealand. It's happening so quickly. Like
only 2021, they announced Dolphins coming in. Felt like so quick ago.
And I think there was something special about that. Like, a new team coming in, they had a good feel to it. And then prior to that, it was the Titans in 2007.
Yeah. Now there's so many teams just coming in a decade time.
Yeah, pretty much. And look, so obviously where the NRL wants to go, the bid require $100 million.
$100
right?
million.
The question I have for you, Mr. Intern, is should the NRL look for a second team in New Zealand? What do you think?
I reckon it'd be good. Second team New Zealand, have a bit of rivalry with Warriors, and I reckon it'll just make the comp even better.
Yeah, I think there's two sides to it, really. It's like, do you just want to strengthen up the Wars fan base? Like they've had the Wars. It's really built up, ever since post-COVID. I think this year and last year every home game they've sold out.
Yeah, they've had heaps
Mount
fans
Smart.
recently. Like past couple of years, they've gained so much population.
So it's whether or not they want to keep building that New Zealand brand, all right? Or they go for the second team down and dominate the South Island. And rugby union, it is the biggest sport in New Zealand. So I think the Landys would be licking his lips thinking, we could, if we can take over the South Island, there's a new stadium at Christchurch, right? I think it's One ANZ Stadium. The Cowboys and Warriors played there earlier this year. And if you can take up that part of the country, I think you could really build a massive rivalry.
Yeah, it could make a massive NRL fan base throughout whole New Zealand.
Yeah, and look, even the Warriors CEO, he's backed it as well. So he's all for it. All signs are looking, I think, towards that NZ team. If not New Zealand, where else would you want to see the 20th?
Maybe Queensland. A 5th team there would be good. Or I don't even know. If not Warriors, Queensland, or not a 20th team.
The Warriors?
Well, no, I mean, if not New Zealand, maybe Queensland or no 20th team, I reckon.
Yeah. Well, I think I'd like to see a team in Adelaide, right? But I just don't think there's enough
Fan base?
eyes there in Adelaide for rugby league. I think Perth, I think they got a strong Kiwi contingent over there on the West Coast. I think Union, like rugby over there's got a decent following, and the grassroots there for rugby league's pretty good. I think Perth will do well. They may struggle here and there, but I think having the backing of the North Sydney Bears will help.
Yeah.
Adelaide may be a bit of a fever dream. Like, obviously the Rams weren't there for a couple of years.
It'd be good, I reckon. I was thinking Adelaide before when you asked me what other team in New Zealand, but I reckon it'd be too much of a waste. It'd be good, but not enough fan base, not enough grassroots there.
I think the folks in Adelaide are still trying to figure out the difference between union and league. I think still a lot of people in Melbourne are figuring that out as well,
Yeah.
and they've got a team. So I only think Adelaide, just for a national sense, then every like major city will have a team. But look, even in the past, Ipswich Jets, like the Brisbane Jets, that could be a potential team.
Yeah.
Soak up that western corridor of Queensland, or even maybe like a central Queensland team around Rockhampton
Oh yeah.
to cover that base from like your Redcliffe up towards your Townsville.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be interesting. But I think my bet will be NZ.
Yeah.
All right, cool. And we'll touch on quickly with the conference. So do you think when there's 20 teams coming in, do you think the Landys will spruik like a conference system? So like you're seeing your NBA and your NFL, right? They've got like A, B, C, D.
The East.
East, West, North, South, whatever, right? Would that work in the NRL? Would you see like, it's maybe split up into 4s or maybe 2s?
I don't think it would, to be honest. I reckon keep it as a whole. To be honest, we have 17 teams now. Another 3. I don't think we should make it into a conference and keep the 8 teams in the finals.
Yeah.
But I don't think we should make it into conference.
Yeah, okay. No, that's fair.
The RMTV podcast is brought to you by The Legal Problem Solver. The team brings over 25 years of experience in wills, probate, estates, conveyancing, property and commercial law. Connect with The Legal Problem Solver on LinkedIn, Facebook and Instagram.
So this week, the AFL, they've got the wildcard round coming up, right? So for the first time ever in the AFL, they've done the top 10, right? So the top 6, they get a week off.
Mm-hmm.
But this week, it's 7th v 8th and 9th versus 10th, right? Winners of them, they verse 5th or 6th for the next week. Do you think the NRL will look at this in the future for a top 10? Because it's an extra game. It's 2 extra games.
I reckon it would work out. With, top 20 in place, the 20 teams in place, I reckon the top 10, that would definitely work out because it's always been close. There's always a couple teams that are just right on that finals edge, and I reckon 2 wild cards would be a great feature.
Yeah, I think the Landys, with his rivalry against the AFL, he calls it the VFF or whatever, but I think he would call it something else. You know how there's the gather round in the AFL, the magic round, etc. But I think it would become a thing. Once the 20 teams are in, it's like, all right, 20 teams, top 10 finals with the wild card. If the finals were next week, you'd have, you'd have like the Doggies versus Manly. That's a big game. And then like your Cowboys and Souths. And who knows, like Manly, that Fosball, they could reignite and have a run.
Yeah, since Fosball's been back on, I reckon he'll have a bit of a run trying to get into the finals end of the season. So, if that wild card was introduced, they could definitely make the finals. Yeah.
Well, similar to in the AFL, Carlton, they sacked their coach, Michael Voss, and then they have a new coach has come in, and then they've just gone on this mad winning streak, secured that wild card game. Mm-hmm. So it would be interesting. I'll have a peek at the AFL. Not too much of a peek, but just to see if a team in like that 9th, 10th can really, reach a prelim. And that would be a success.
If they made a grand final, that'd be insane. Imagine NRL 2030, like a New Zealand team. They've just made it through. They get a wild card and they're making the prelims. It'd be crazy.
Yeah, it would be. And all right, let's have a look, mate. Round 26 preview. Broncos, $1.93. Melbourne, $1.91 at Suncorp. The punters can't split this one.
It'd be a close game. I reckon Storm will just get the better edge of Broncos. Storm looked real good against
They'll win the
Panthers.
fight against Penrith.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, this week they're actually trialling the new kickoff rule, right? So the team that concedes a try or a penalty kick, right, they pretty much get to pick whether they want to receive or kick off. Oh, yeah. Which, it'll be interesting to see. So they're going to trial that against the Broncos and Storm. So that'll be an interesting one. I think
could definitely help, dying minutes, last 10 minutes of a game.
Yeah, well, I think they're trying to bring it in to try and even out the game a bit more. So, yeah, we'll see where that goes. But, yeah, I think I'm going to go... Ooh, I think Broncos in a close one for me. I think they might go back-to-back wins and try and get the win for Reno.
Yeah.
I think Reynolds, obviously he won't be playing, but I think it'll mean a lot for the Broncos boys to try and get up for this one and, get the win.
Yeah.
Because, I think Reynolds, if he doesn't go up to Brizzy from South, do they make those 2 grand finals? So, and then Manly, $1.40. St. George, $2.97 at Brookie. Friday, 6 p.m. Did Manly go back-to-back?
I reckon Manly go back-to-back. They'll be fighting for those finals contention. I know it'll be hard for them, but like I said previously, I reckon Foswell's back. And Dragons, big, massive scoreline against Bulldogs. I reckon they'll just fold end of the season again. Even though they had their hopes up not to get the spoon, I reckon it's too hard for Titans to get there.
Yeah, it was funny. All the Dragons fans, they were high on their own supply, thinking 3 wins in a row. But, yeah, back to the old ways for Saints. And then Penrith, $1.30. Dogs, $3.57 at CommBank. Dude, I think, with all the talk of some of the Dogs players having an illness with the COVID and stuff, it's going to be a tough one. I think Penrith win, but I think 1-12. Yeah. I think Dogs will try and show a bit of a fight here.
That's what I was thinking. After massive game against Dragons, even though the COVID stuff, I reckon Panthers 1-12. It'll be a close match. Either be that or Panthers will just blow them out. Just
flog them. But I think with Penrith, it's they obviously just beat Melbourne, but it'll be interesting to see if the Dogs do beat them, whether or not their season's done. But it's I think Isaiah Yeo is just such a big loss. I think they're missing him. He's that key link.
Yeah, it's perfect in that middle. He just stirs everything up.
Yeah, and he's always been there for the back end of every season going to the finals. So it's whether or not Penrith can. I mean, they've done it before with all different squads the past 6 years. But
they're very unpredictable.
And then Titans, $3.05. South Sydney, $1.38. This one's at home again for the Titans. What do you reckon, mate?
I reckon Souths. Even though Titans are in a close one against Sharks and looked like they were in contention to win it in that first half, but Souths are making good comebacks. Looked hungry for that win against Warriors, so I reckon they'll win it.
Yeah, they I thought Souths they did have that good comeback against Warriors. It's just they were just too strong. I'm actually gonna go the Titans upset. I'm gonna go the Titans upset. I think they might just tweak a few things this week and really have a good crack against the Bunnies.
See what they missed out on that second half.
Yeah. Try and really put in a good 80 minutes performance. And then the Roosters, $1.56. The Finns, $2.45. Saturday, 5:30 p.m. Allianz Stadium. I'm not too sure about this one. I think Teddy returns. But maybe they might. I just have this feeling. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm gonna go the Finns here. I think Finns, if they can play a similar game to the Tigers, just have their forward pack roaring, and with their backs, the Dolphins' backs, they can play up against the Chooks.
Oh, yeah.
There's no doubt about it. Finns 1-12 for me, and then I think the next week the Chooks will be really hungry against South.
I reckon Roosters 1-12, but it'll be a very high scoring match. Anything can happen. It'll be up in those 30s range, but I reckon Dolphins will have a massive crack at it.
All right, and then Cowboys $1.28, Tigers $3.73. Do the Tigers go back to back?
Oh, I reckon Cowboys will just get it.
The Cows?
Where's that at?
That's up at North Queensland.
Yeah, I reckon Cowboys.
Townsville. I think so too. I think Cowboys just. I think 1-12 again. Good confidence booster for the Tigers, but I think Cowboys have a lot more to play for in terms of finals.
I reckon all these games this week will be very close. It'll either be good 1-12s, or there'll be massive upsets.
And then the Wars, $1.40. Newcastle, $2.96 at Mount Smart. I'll let you go. Who you backing?
I reckon was 1-12.
Again, yeah, another close one.
Another close one. Knights, I reckon they'll be hungry to get that though after that loss against Manly.
Well, I'm going to throw it this way. I think we saw it with the Roosters in the media. You know, the Roosters beat Penrith. There was a lot of talk. This is my theory. A lot of talk. They're first now, minor premierships, blah, blah, blah. The Wars are first now. A lot of talk about, you know, can they claim minor premiership? Is it the Wars year? Is it our year, you know? Just a little reality check for the Wars this week.
Yeah.
And I reckon the Knights will get them just by 2. I think Knights will come back. They'll be hungry. And I think they'll go over there and, yeah, it'll be a massive, massive game for Newcastle.
Yeah, I reckon that's a good point you make there. Like, that Roosters, after we won against Roosters Panthers, that was such a great game, but the media was hyping us up, and I knew one of his games out of the last 3 of the season will be shaky. So, yeah, that could happen to Warriors.
Yeah, I think the puzzle, you know, keep moving around a little bit. And if that's the case, if Warriors lose, Penrith win, Roosters, Penrith could be back at first. I think it's really going to come down to the last round, this whole top 8 conundrum. And then Eels, $2.82, Cronulla $1.44. This one's at CommBank to finish off second last round of the season.
I reckon Cronulla, they'll get the win. After that close one against Titans, I reckon they'll get the win over Eels by 13 plus.
Big one. Yeah, I'm going to go another upset here. I think I'm going to go Para. Yeah, 1-12. I reckon Sharkies. Yeah, I don't know where they're at. You know, they went on to beat Gold Coast, but if Para can show up, play a bit of footy, they got nothing to play for. Yeah, I'm going to go back Para.
Yeah, Sharks are in a weird, inconsistent area right now.
Well, they're really holding on to that pretenders tag, and
Yeah.
It's a funny one with old Cronulla. It's, you know, the talk happens every year. Cronulla in the finals. You know, do they want to play at Shark Park? I think it's a joke. I think it's one of the biggest jokes in NRL.
Yeah, it's a crap
that Cronulla
stadium.
can play at Shark Park. I don't care week 1 or any week in the finals. It holds like not even 15,000. I just think just put them at Allianz or let them play at. I mean, even CommBank. I mean, a bit of a trek for them, but who cares? Like, you can't just be rolling out Shark Park
15,000
for a finals.
Yeah, and it'll get sold out immediately.
Yeah, well, I was there last year. It was a struggle to get tickets to see the Roosters go on and finish their season at Shark Park against Cronulla. It's just a dump of a ground. As Geordie alludes to on here, mate, it's Portaloo Park. But yeah, all right, mate. Well, thanks again for coming on. I'm sure you'll be bouncing around in
Yeah.
on and off the podcast. I think you're gonna go to the Souths game.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
South, maybe Finns. Depends
Yeah.
if you're going.
2. I mean, look, three games to finish off at Allianz. It's whether or not the Chooks can I think ride that confidence of having that home crowd. You know, even though the last game's going to be South's home game, I still think it'll be a 60-40 split to Roosters fans.
Yeah, it'll be a hard game at Roosters Dolphins.
This weekend. Yeah, we'll see what happens, mate. Well, all right, guys, thank you very much for tuning into the RMTV podcast. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications from the intern and I. It's good night.